with me. It is time to do a massive harvest from my kitchen garden. All right, we're going to start out with this massive Swiss chard. This plant has been doing so well for months on end, and the harvests just keep coming. It's pretty awesome. So we're cutting all the way down to the base of the stem. These things are beautiful, so good for you. And you definitely need to keep up the harvest. You don't want to let these, you don't want to sleep on these, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, it's almost so much I can't quite get in there. All right, Swiss chard number 1. All right, we got a ton of dill here. It's starting to go to flower, so I'm going to cut these side shoots before they change their flavor too much. And I'm going to try to share some with Molly too. She said she likes dill. So cut all these small bunches here. This one I'm going to let just the flower stay because I want to get dill seed. I'm going to cut these lower leaves. Look at the ladybug. This is on the fennel. Isn't that so sweet? Ah! If you want more ladybugs in your garden, don't buy ladybugs. Just plant some fennel. They love it. All right, we've got our dill. So I've got Swiss chard all over the garden. I love, love, love having Swiss chard right at the front of the kitchen garden because it just is always beautiful and it stays there for a long part of the year. But it's important to keep it harvested because it will shade your other plants. So pretty, right? All right, we'll put this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and harvest these broccoli heads. They are not great, but they're as good as they're going to get. So I'm just going to come down here, cut right here. Maybe I'll cut right here and see if I'll get a little side shoot. So we'll cut right like that. Pretty pitiful little thing, but better than nothing. All right, we'll cut on this one too. You can see this one's starting to flower. So it's still edible, but definitely not ideal. This happens because it got too warm too quickly. So the broccoli could not fully form that little tight head we love. But still edible, all of it. Okay, we're gonna do some dinosaur kale. I've got a few leaves here. I'm gonna see if I can get my kids to make some kale chips. Today is the first official day of summer. So actually it's the last day of school. Tomorrow is the first official day of summer. And I'm gonna see if I can challenge them to make kale chips every day. Wish me luck, right? But some of my kids just love, love, love chips. So I'm gonna see this summer if I can get them to eat more kale chips than chips. This kale is under attack. I don't know if you can see, I just noticed this. But look at this stem, literally eaten to the stalk. So this thing is being stalked by some kind of bug. So I'm going to have to get on that ASAP, but it's still edible. So I'm going to cut right here as well. All right, so pretty. And believe it or not, you need this much to make kale chips, at least this much. Now we're going to get some sugar snap peas. I've been harvesting these for a while. And these vines are probably just about finished off. They might have a little bit more to give, but I probably should have harvested these peas. When they're this big, that's kind of a sign that you waited a little bit too late. You don't really want them to get that big. You don't want them to get to the point where they think that you're done, that they're done, that they've produced their seed, all the seed they need, because then they're going to slow down their pod production. But these are almost finished up. Maybe a few more here. Look at all these. So you can see how the fruit production kind of continues to move up the vine. So these are at the tip of the vine, and there's just like 5 or 6 right here on this one. All right, now we're gonna head and get some purple peas. These just started to come in. Look at how beautiful they are. These are King Tut peas. Aren't they so pretty? So these have a similar flavor but I just love the color on these. They're a little bit, they have a flatter body. See that? So the peas aren't as wide. All right, we've got a ton of greens to harvest from these back beds. I mean, take a look at this feast. This red Russian kale, it is so hard to believe we started this from seed like 5 months ago. Look at how pretty it is now. This is a great kale for smoothies, for salads. I love it. It's a little bit sweeter, and I love the texture. Isn't it so pretty? We also have this other kale. I forget what this one was called, but this one I started indoors as well. This was a kale that we started in that cocoa core, planted out thinking it was not going to survive, and look at this. I mean, it is just huge. So ginormous. So just making sure everything has its space in here. This kale could easily grow to the size of the full bed. So that's why harvests are so important, just making sure that everything, when you have an intensively planted garden, everything gets the space it needs, but nothing more. And lots of harvesting is definitely required for that. So that's our kale. Before I bring this up to the, what do you think of this? I mean, is this gorgeous or what? My goodness. So much deliciousness right here. It's so fun to think you grew this from seed, you know? All right, then we're gonna do some purple mustard. Look at this purple, it's so beautiful. And again, this is a plant you wanna keep in check because it will get huge. All right, is this purple so pretty or what? Love this. So we got the purple, and then we're also gonna do some of these green mustards. Look at how huge these things have gotten. We planted these from starts back in February, I believe, and they have just gotten gorgeous and huge. So we're going to cut these lower outer leaves just like this. I have peppers in here, okra in here, tomatoes in here. So keeping these well harvested is very critical to giving these new plants like my tomatoes, you know, a good chance to get plenty of sunlight and space. So now we got mustard. So look at all these greens, and look, it hardly looks like we hardly harvested, right? I mean, there's just still so much room for more growth in here. I'm really glad we harvested though, because look at these onions. They needed some more light. So now this is going to give them more of what they need, which is great. And now I see, look at this. I mean, we got so much planting space, right? I can come in here and add some more plants. All right, it is time to bring all this to the to the harvest basket. I don't know if there's room in the harvest basket for all of this. Now does this mean I have to cook? I hope this doesn't mean I have to cook something. I'm gonna see if I can hire my kids to cook for me this summer. Like, learn what to do with mustards, right? So we'll put this here. Just little FYI, when you're harvesting, it's great to put your greens down first and then put your fruit and things after. Your herbs on top. The leaves are a nice little base, especially if you want that, you know, beautiful harvest basket photo. The leaves go first. Okay. I think I'm a little heavy on the kale, but it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna lose my peas in here, I'm afraid. I'll put my kale to this side. All right, looking good, looking good. Now let's see if we can get a few more things, and then I think I have to stop because I'm gonna run out of time to cook all of this. All right, we're gonna come in here, it's a little bit wild. I'm gonna get some parsley. Parsley grows great under the shadow of these really nice tall plants. So when you're, you know, fitting things in and you need more space, parsley, don't be afraid to plant parsley in the shadows of your tall plants. It loves it. So I got a little bit of parsley. Maybe I'll grab a little bit of chives here. Also can grow in the shade. Chives are like the most non-demanding. I don't know what the word is. There's some more parsley here I'm going to grab. This will be for like a really good dressing for the salad. Okay, I'm gonna grab some oregano as well. This oregano is going bananas out here in almost every corner of the garden. I've never had oregano like this in my Chicago garden. I was used to having it like this in Houston, but it would only grow so big in Chicago. But here, it is super duper happy. So we've got some oregano, chives, and parsley will be great to make a dressing. Maybe we'll grab a little bit of fennel just for fun to put in there too. That flavor is so different. All right, then we're gonna grab a little bit of lettuce and we are done. All right, it is the end of the season for this lettuce, so I'm actually gonna cut the whole head at once, and then we'll make a beautiful salad with this red lettuce. All right, and that is all we're going to harvest for today. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck in the kitchen for too long. But I'm going to make all kinds of stuff, some kale chips, some sauteed greens. We're going to do some snow peas and a little bit of broccoli on top. There's just so much deliciousness here in this one basket. And look at the kitchen garden. It does not even look like it's been touched, right? There's just still so much more to harvest. So if you think that it's a small thing to grow greens and herbs in a garden, I hope this shows you this is no small thing.